You're listening to the Love Over Addiction podcast. Hey, how are you? Today, I'm going to be talking about trust. It's a huge topic when you love someone suffering from addiction. And it's something we've got to go over because I just had a huge aha moment a couple weeks ago in my own personal life concerning trust that I thought, oh my gosh, I need to share this because I think it will apply to you too. So a lot of you in our community talk about, Michelle, I don't know how to trust. When do I know that I can actually begin to trust that what they say is true? That when they tell me that they want to get sober, they're actually really mean at this time. That when they tell me they love me, they really do love me. And I can start to trust and receive that. That when they say they're going to show up for my daughter's surgery, my son's soccer game, whatever, that they actually are going to do that. And it's so frustrating when you love someone suffering from addiction because your desire in your heart is to trust. You want to trust the person that you are in love with. Trust is one of those fundamental qualities in a romantic relationship that makes it good, that makes it safe. When you feel like you can trust the person that you're in love with, you feel safe. But here's the truth, and it's really quite simple. You can't trust somebody that's actively struggling with addiction. Whether it's addiction to drugs or alcohol or pornography, whether it's addiction to gambling or sex, whatever they're addicted to, it is almost impossible for you to trust them. Because 99.9% of the time, when there is addiction involved, there are also lies and deception or manipulation or half-truths or, quote, white lies, little baby lies. They usually go hand in hand. Addiction's best friend is lies. And why? Because they have to lie or manipulate or stretch the truth or whatever, deny, in order to get away with their addiction. So when you love someone suffering from addiction, most likely you are loving someone that has a problem telling the truth 100% of the time. They might be really good about telling the truth when it comes to finances, or they might be excellent and a very high-functioning alcoholic that tells the truth at work. But there are certain areas in their life where they are not telling the truth. And most likely, it is around their addiction. Because in order to get away with drinking too much, using drugs, sleeping with other people, looking at pornography, whatever it is, they usually have to lie in order to get away with it. And so you are sitting here, the sober one, the responsible one, the kind one, the one that's trying everything in your power to make this relationship work. And your deepest desire in your heart is to want to trust this person. You want to trust them. Because if you trusted them, it would most likely mean that they would be sober. Right? And here's the truth. When I was in love with someone suffering from addiction, I sometimes was so desperate for the truth because I felt like I was going crazy, because he would look at me and swear that he had not been drinking, yet he had a slur in his voice. Or he would swear he was at that hotel room alone and not with another woman. Or he would swear that our finances were legit in great shape. Right? And you, because you are a kind, loving person that wants to believe that you are not going crazy and you want to stay with them, otherwise you would have left. You want to believe them. You so have a desire to give them the benefit of the doubt, because the truth is, if they're lying to you, they are untrustworthy. And if they are untrustworthy, they are not safe. And if they are not safe, you are not safe. And if you are not safe, then it means that you might need to change. You might need to reconsider your future with them. And that is a hard truth that we all struggle with. So what do you do, right? What do you do with somebody that you are desperately in love with, that you have put all of this time and energy into this relationship? Maybe you've had kids with them. Maybe you've married. Maybe your finances are all merged together and it feels super complicated. And it feels like not that simple, right? It feels overwhelmingly confusing and frustrating. What do you do? Well, you take a look at the necessity, or no, I'm not necessity. What's the word I'm looking for? The necessary, sorry guys. The necessary fundamental qualities that make up a healthy, good relationship. And then you ask yourself, how bad do I want a good, healthy relationship? And what am I willing to do to get it? What are you willing to do to get a healthy, happy, safe, loving relationship? Okay, so here's my story with trust. This was my big aha. I grew up with two parents who eventually got divorced, and my parents did the best they could, all right? They did the best they could. But one of those very famous expressions that's out there in the self-help world is hurt people, right? And I think that can apply to both of my parents. And I say this with total love in my heart for them. But I did not grow up in a home where I could trust either one of my parents to protect me emotionally. And so when I got involved with somebody who struggled with drugs and alcohol, I, like you, wanted so badly to find the partner that would keep me safe, that would protect me, that would heal me from all of the lack of trust that I grew up in my childhood with. And subconsciously, instead of me choosing someone who was healthy and happy and spiritually and emotionally in a good place, I subconsciously was attracted to someone who reinforced what I learned growing up. I was attracted to the exact same type of person. Well, actually, that's not true. Not exactly, because my parents are very different from my ex-husband, but neither one of them struggle with addiction. But that feeling of being unsafe, the lack of trust, that was the common thread between my relationship with my parents and my ex-husband. And instead of me consciously making the effort to get involved with somebody who I could trust, I got involved with somebody who I wanted to trust that would let me down consistently, that would not protect me, that would actually hurt me and reject me, just like I felt growing up as a child. And I was not emotionally aware at the time, because I think I was 19. I was not emotionally aware enough to be able to see it, the pattern that I had between my childhood and my relationship in my childhood, and how common it was with my relationship with my ex-husband. And so I got into this very long relationship with someone who chose drugs, alcohol, pornography, affairs, all of it. You guys name the addiction. We went through it. I chose someone who was choosing those things over me. And I felt incredibly unsafe. And I felt completely rejected because I was being rejected. And so were my kids. So as you guys know, I left. After a very long time, I left. I decided that this was not good. And that this man that I was in love with could not help me raise these children the way that I knew they deserved to be raised. And so I left for my kids' sake. And I fell in love with another man. And he is my husband now. And he is a good man. And thank God I did the work in between the first relationship and the second relationship. And I've told this story before, but I used to wake up during my divorce, which took a very long time. I would wake up early in the morning and I would get a cup of coffee before the kids were up, and I'd make a list of all of the things that I wanted in my life. And one of those lists was a list of a partner. What did I want in a partner? And I still have the list. Do you know what number one was? The number one attribute that I wanted in a husband? Honesty. I wanted an honest, reliable man. That when he said he would be home, he would be home. That where he said he would be, he was. Who didn't have a drinking problem, didn't have a drug problem, was responsible with money and loved his family and loved being a father and loved being around us, right? And loved me. And I got that. Because I did the work in between the relationships to not only recognize what I wanted, but also recognize where I needed to grow. But here's the truth. I missed something. And this is my aha. So I think it was last week's podcast, or maybe it was the week before, I didn't recommend, but I was talking about a book that I was currently reading called Attached. And this book is it has really opened my eyes in a way that have not been opened before. And typically, you guys, I read like so many self-help books, and sometimes they always sound the same, or they're very overwhelming with their steps, which I don't love. But this book, let me just break it down for you. Basically, the author is saying it is our primal desire. It is the way we are made to be codependent on our partner. Now, for those of you that are taking the programs, you're like, what, Michelle? Now, here's the deal. I've always claimed that I don't think codependency is a bad thing. I just think you need to use it in the right way. And here I am doing a podcast saying this, but I'm not applying it to my marriage, my own marriage, my current marriage with my husband now. And it hit me like a ton of bricks that I am still holding back vulnerability and full trust from my current husband because of my childhood and because of the scars that have come from my ex-husband's relationship. And when the author said, no, listen, that whole myth about codependency, yes, it's appropriate, and he literally says this, it's appropriate when you love someone suffering from addiction. Then you need to really work on your codependent tendencies. But when you find a healthy partner, when you find a healthy man, it's actually one of the greatest gifts in your relationship to become codependent on them, to look to them and say, I need you, I love you, I trust you, I want to be around you, and I want you to help me, and I want to help you, and let's spend the, and just all of it. Just let the floodgate of your heart open and completely love that other human being unconditionally all the time. And you guys, I've still been holding back from my current husband because of being so hurt. And when I read this, and someone gave me permission to love hard, which is what I am so good at doing, aren't we all? I mean, you and me, we know how to love, you know? I might not know math very well, but I've got loving someone nailed down, right? I might not know, how to, navigate directions, but give me somebody to love. I have got that down. But here I was, married to a great man. For God knows, I don't even know how long we've been married. Because again, I'm not good at math. But I think like 12 years or something. And I have still been holding back from him. Because I was afraid all this time of getting hurt and rejected. And a part of me probably thought, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm just waiting for him to leave. I'm waiting for him to disappoint me. So I'm going to protect. I'm going to self-protect, and I'm going to hold back. I'm going to let him know that I can do this on my own if I need to. Like, I can support myself financially. I have enough friends that will get me by. I can be a single mom. I was once a single mom before. I can do it again. That like self-righteous, independent woman, I think I have been operating from that place out of fear because I didn't fully trust this man. And so when this author gave me permission to say, no, your codependency, that's actually like what a real relationship is, a good, healthy relationship is supposed to be like. You're supposed to be attached, and you're not supposed to be, there's 3 different types of attachment, and he goes into it, but it's like securely attached. So you're not like anxiously attached, which is what I was operating from. I was married to him, but I was constantly waiting for, the fantasy the bubble to burst, right? Because that's what happens when you're married and in love with someone suffering from addiction. Your bubble bursts all the time. You think you're home free. I mean, how many times have we talked about this in the secret Facebook group where we say, he got sober. It's been 14 days. I'm so excited. I really think this is it. And then all of a sudden, boom, he disappears, right? Or boom, he walks in and there's alcohol on his breath, or he has that slur, or you see the pills are missing, or the signs or clues, right? And it's because we are so hurt and rejected and sad and lonely and anxious and worried because we love this person so much. We want to be attached to them. We want to be securely attached to the man or woman that we are in love with so desperately that we are willing to hand over our hearts, our vulnerability, our lives, our health, our mental health, everything we're willing to compromise for this relationship. And it's just constant rejection, and it's constant pain. So here's what I'm asking you. I am asking you, if the end goal is secure attachment, is complete trust and vulnerability, do you honestly think that you can get there in this relationship with this person? Do you? I know you're hoping like hell that you can. I know that. I hear you loud and clear saying, I hope so. But get real. Get super real. Give me a percentage. Tell me, what are the percentage right now that you think that you're betting, if you were a betting person and you were to bet your life's worth on this, what is the percentage that you think this person that you are currently in a relationship with is the person that's going to make you feel secure? Is the person that you are going to be completely trustworthy? Is the person you actually can be codependent with? That you can be healthy and in love with? And they will give that back to you. Give me a percentage. And then ask yourself, after you give me that percent, and you only have to give it to me, you don't have to say this to anyone else. Then tell me, after that percentage, is that good enough? Like, is that good enough? Or are you settling? Because, and I promise you guys, I am not here to brag. Let me tell you, my life is a mess. I don't have anything figured out. Okay, so please don't. That's why I don't do Instagram or any of these things, because I don't want to. Gross. I don't want you to think that I've got like this phenomenal life. Here's what I'm here to tell you though. After I've looked at my husband and I said, we both read the book, and we looked at each other at the kitchen table, and I said, okay, I've never been all in. I've never been all in a relationship before. I've always held something back. If I'm all in, are you all in? Like, are we really in it to win it here? Are we really looking at each other in the eye and saying, I love you. I'm going to give you everything I've got. I'm going to love the heck out of you. And I'm here for you no matter what for the rest of our lives. I'm going to, when you've hurt me, I'm not going to yell, I'm not going to scream, or I'm not going to give you the silent treatment. I'm not going to be passive aggressive. I'm going to look at you and say, that hurt me. Would you mind taking a look at this or walking through this with me? When I feel rejected, or when I feel lonely, or when I feel sad, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to tell you, this is what I need. Would you mind doing this for me? I'm going to be so real, and my expectations of you are going to be high. And I'm going to ask for what I need. And I'm going to forgive you. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that when you hurt me, it's not because you don't love me. It's because something else is going on with you. And we can work through that together. I'm going to completely trust you. I'm going to trust that you're going to show up for me. And when you don't, and if you don't, I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to come to you and say, I really needed you there. What happened? What went wrong? Did I not communicate that enough? Were you super busy? Are you in a bad space? I'm going to try and meet your needs, trusting that you're going to make the same amount of effort to meet mine. And when we both looked at each other and we said, okay. And it's not like we had an unhappy marriage before. My God, I am married to, that is one area I nailed, is who I am married to. I got that right. I nailed that because of all the work I did around it, I think. Also, yeah. So he was naturally already a great guy. And there was no reason for me to hold back from him. And that's what I want to close with. A lot of you say, okay, Michelle, I've left. What next? How the heck do I find the next person? And what do I have to do to work on me in order to identify that? You have to identify what it is that you deserve. And in order for you to figure out what you want to deserve, you have to feel a sense of entitlement. You have to honor who you are and what you need. And that is so difficult for us because we are so used to putting ourselves last and minimizing our needs and feeling like a pain in the ass if we sit there and raise our hands and say, hey, I could use some attention. I could use somebody taking care of me. I could use somebody noticing my pain or noticing how tired I am and stepping up and stepping in. That feels so unnatural to you and me, doesn't it? It feels so uncomfortable. But we deserve that. That's what love looks like. Healthy love. That's what partnership is about. It's saying, I got your back. Whatever you need, I got your back. And vice versa. That's the goal. And we rip ourselves off all the time by being the only ones in the relationship that are willing to do all of the work. And then they try for 14 days and oh my gosh, it's fabulous. They're trying for 14 days. We give them all the credit in the world. We give them all the benefit of the doubt. And then what happens? It blows up in our faces. What you need is consistency. Without consistency, there is no trust. Period. End of story. Without a consistent person consistently telling the truth, consistently coming home on time, consistently being drug-free and alcohol-free, consistently helping you out and being attuned to your feelings, consistently showing up for therapy. If you've made therapy appointment, showing up, being present, loving no matter what, consistently. And when I say consistently, I'm not talking about 14 days, guys. I'm talking about years. Then we can get to a place of trust. But I don't want you listening to think for 1 second that something is wrong with you because you can't learn to trust them. I hear this so often. They go to rehab for 30 days, 60 days, and they come back and they have a problem, or they give you a hard time because you're not trusting them. Excuse me, let's just take a pause here for a second. How long were they alcoholics or addicts? And they just want you to jump right back in after 60 or 30 days because they decided to go away, live away from your home, and do some work? And you have no idea what they did. They weren't living with you when they were getting better. You don't know this person that's coming home. Do not allow yourself to be guilty or judged for continuing to have trust issues. Of course you do. Of course you do. If you didn't, I would say, well, that's a sign of codependency. Of course you do. And you probably had trust issues before you even got involved with them. And they're just reinforcing the idea that you are undeserving of true love, of being loved, of being cherished, of being recognized, of being cared for. Right? So please, if you are listening to this and you are allowing your partner to make you feel guilty because you don't trust them, this is what I say. For those of you out there that are listening and saying, you gave me a high percentage of the fact that you think that your partner is the person that you can learn to trust. Okay? Or for those of you out there that are listening that say, I'm not leaving. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's totally fine. I would never judge you for not leaving, and I don't believe in just telling you leaving is the only answer. Leaving is something that you will absolutely come to a decision about when you are ready. And if you try to leave prematurely, most likely you'll end up going back and being even more frustrated with yourself. So for those of you that are deciding to stay in this relationship and you want to learn to trust again, and they're showing signs of getting sober, great. Here's the kind of number that I have made up, right? This is totally my theory. I didn't read it anywhere. If you take the amount of years that you have been in a relationship with them and they have been actively in their addiction, divide that in half, and that's how long it will take for you to build your trust back if they have consistently been sober and present and loving for that amount of time. So let's say you've been with them for 10 years, and those 10 years they have been dealing with addiction. Maybe they haven't been drunk the whole time. Maybe they've been in and out of rehab, but there's been no real, years of consistency there, right? So 10 years you've been in this relationship. Divided in half, that's 5. It was going to take you 5 years to fully and completely trust them again if they have committed to sobriety. That's what I've seen. And I've been doing this for over 10 years. So for you to sit there and put the pressure on yourself, or for them to put the pressure on you that they get out of rehab or they start to show signs of sobriety, and in 60 or 90 days, all of a sudden you're just supposed to give your heart over to them and completely trust and be vulnerable with them, is ridiculous. It's unrealistic expectation. So please do not feel guilty about that. And for those of you out there that gave me a low percentage about the idea that you don't think that you are with somebody who can consistently show you, consistently be the person that you want and learn to trust, then I want you to start making that list. That's your homework. Make the list of your dream partner. What qualities and attributes do you want? Dare to dream. Dare to take 5 minutes to get inside yourself of quiet time and ask yourself, what qualities in a partner do you think they need to possess in order for you to feel safe, in order for you to feel trust, so that you can start to receive the love that you deserve? After doing this with my husband, you guys, I cannot tell you, I feel like 1,000 pounds have been lifted off of my shoulders. He is taking care of me in ways I have been so thirsty for my entire life. I'm not feeling great. I suffer from thyroid issues, and I have PCOS, and I have, right now I have stage 3 adrenal fatigue. So I'm very, very tired. And you guys know we have a lot of children. After reading this book, I looked at him and I said, I am so tired. I can't do half of the things that I was very willing and capable to do a month ago. And he looked at me and he goes, I got you. And I'm going to try my best to think of all of the things that you need ahead of time. But if I don't, please tell me what you need. And you guys, just this morning, I was thinking I had to take my son to tennis lessons, and I was too tired. And the old me would have been like, just power through it, struggle through it. Like, it's a drive. How hard is it? You just have to get in a car and push a button and go. Like, big deal, Michelle. But the new me is like, no. Your body's telling you need to lay in bed. Go back to bed and ask him. And so I said, would you mind taking Graham to tennis lessons? And he's like, got it. No problem, hon. Love you. Not a complaint. Didn't make me feel guilty. Didn't make me feel weak. Didn't roll his eyes. There was no contempt in his voice. It was like, yeah, no problem. I got it. Do you know how freaking good that feels? I could cry right now. Because I know for a fact my first husband never would have done that. I would have never asked because A, he probably would have been too hungover to take him to tennis lessons. And B, if he did, he would have made me feel guilty the whole time. And it feels so good to like honor myself. It does feel crappy to be so tired. But part of me thinks like, it feels so good to be taken care of. I've never been taken care of by a man before. I've never let anyone take care of me. And I'm telling you, I'm almost like, gosh, am I gonna... I kind of want to be sick forever. I'm just joking. But isn't it just, it's so healing, guys. It's so healing. And I hate to say this because I don't even know if this is like, it's my truth, but I don't know if it's right or not. But I feel like rather than like this warped sense of thinking that it was me versus him, like, and it's not like we fought all the time. We didn't. We're too busy to fight. It was just like this sense of like me being super independent and like, you know, like, I'll be fine if you leave me. And he's madly in love with me. I don't know why I thought that, but I always just did. My guard was up. And he felt the same way too, you guys. Like there's a quiz in the book. He took it and he felt this anxious anxiety attachment too. So I know he was waiting for me to hurt him. And so I don't know if this is right or not, but now my perception is it's us against the world. Like, we're the team. He's my teammate, and he's my partner, and he's my friend, and we're in it together. Like, I finally got someone on my side. If that makes any sense to you, I don't know. It kind of almost doesn't make sense to me. I haven't figured it out yet. But that's how it feels. And oh my gosh, that feels so good. Because the truth was, I think I was lonely. I think I was lonely in my marriage before, which is interesting to say out loud. And now I feel like so full. My heart just feels full, like I am safe. And the way he takes care of me, and I'm just receiving now, guys. Like, I'm not even in the position to be able to give back yet, other than telling him how wonderful he is for taking care of me. But it makes me want to give back when it's acceptable and when I'm ready. But right now, I'm so secure in our marriage that I'm just okay with receiving. I'm just okay with receiving being taken care of. And I'm learning not to feel guilty about it. And I'm learning that he loves me, and I don't have to earn my keep with him. I don't have to earn this love by providing and taking care and looking a certain way. I don't have to hustle for my love. I can just be the wounded and the broken and the needy. And I've got someone willing to help me and take care of me right now, knowing that, I'm not going to be that way forever, and this season will pass, and I'm doing everything I can to get better. Thank God that feels good. And I'm 43 years old, and I've never felt that way before in my life. And I promise you, I'm not sharing this to brag. I'm just sharing this with you because you deserve this too. And I'm telling you because I got so excited when I figured it out, because I knew you would be interested. I knew that this would resonate with you, because I know you're just as thirsty for this as I was, and you just haven't let your guard down. And the truth is, you can't. You can't if you're not with somebody who is all the attributes that you needed: rock solid, honest, dependable, reliable. This isn't a destination you can get to while loving somebody struggling with addiction, because you cannot trust them. because their addiction is their number one priority. And they are more interested in taking care of their addiction than taking care of you. And I am so sorry that I just said that, because I know how freaking bad that hurts your heart. But I love you, and I promise you, I only tell you what I wish I had heard when I was in so much freaking pain loving someone that suffered from addiction. Like, I wish someone had pulled me aside and said this to me. And I'm so sorry if I'm the one that's giving you the loving truths right now. But it is. You're not going to get your needs met with this person who is unwell. Unfortunately, you can only turn to healthy people to meet your needs. And so you just need to figure out, do you want to be with somebody healthy? Do you want to give yourself a chance in this lifetime to be with somebody who can meet your needs? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. Some of you will think, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I can continue and soldier on. And to you, respect. That's your choice. 2 thumbs up for me. Big high five. Go for it. For me, no. There's something inside of my soul, in my heart, that knew there was someone better out there. There was a life that was better than the one that I had. I didn't know how I was going to get it. I didn't know how it was all going to work out. I didn't know anything, but I was willing to take a chance. All right, that's it for today. I hope you found something in this helpful, and I adore you. I think about you every single day, and you are not alone. I've got your back. I've got you. I'm really ready and willing to take care of you until you are strong enough to take care of yourself. All right, I'll talk to you later. This podcast is created for your support, encouragement, and entertainment with my personal thoughts and beliefs. We are bonded together by the fact that we love someone suffering from addiction. This is not intended as a substitute for therapy or advice from a professional.